Swami Thayumanavar's life events, I am not tracing chronologically. My interest is in his teachings and his reflections. So, a few incidents I will narrate, then I will come to the aspect where he has expressed himself, his views on mind and spirituality. He got a guru one day when he was coming back from the Trichy Thayumanavar temple. His name was Mauna Guru. He talked very little, and the guru and the disciple had long interaction, and the guru told him that certain duties Thayumanavar had to do, and as per that Thayumanavar even got married and he got a child also. His wife passed away and he handed over the child to somebody responsible in his family. After that, something happened in his family life. His father left his body, his father died, and that job was offered to him. Now, he became a responsible person in looking after the affairs in the king's court. One day, it so happened that he was holding a very important border document of that province, a document which was having border notifications, and he was holding that document as he was working in that kingdom. Suddenly, he was tearing that paper or he was crushing it, and then people who were nearby, the queen was watching and other people were watching, they were not knowing why he was doing like that. A few minutes later, somebody came from Tiruvanakka temple and they told that Akhilandeshwari's dress caught fire and two hands put up the fire and they were doing some kind of puja to rectify this error which happened. So they were all shocked to hear this. Sitting here, Thayumanavar Swami was crushing the paper, but he was crushing the fire which happened in Akhilandeshwari Devi's dress. So that was the incident narrated about him. And he was able to see only God in everybody. Once he went to pluck some flower and he talks to himself, when Lord is manifest in this flower also, I am not able to pluck this flower from the tree. That was how he reacted to that flower. Then one day, it was during winter, someone offered him a very costly shawl. He was wearing it for some time. After 3-4 days, the shawl was not with him. A poor woman was wearing that shawl. That person who had given him that shawl, because it was a very costly shawl, he asked him, "What happened to the shawl? What I gave it to you? To whom you gave like that?" He asked him. He said, Lordess or Goddess Akhilandeshwari was shivering in cold. So I handed over my shawl to Akhilandeshwari. That meant that he was seeing Akhilandeshwari Devi in every woman. This was another incident to prove how his mental makeup was. And the most interesting aspect about his statements about or his reflections about spirituality and what he thought about mind, it's what interested me to maximum, because all these years whichever Mahans recording I was reading and I was bringing forth, everybody used to give very much importance to knowledge, but Thayumanavar Swami says knowledge should not be there, in the sense any knowledge which doesn't take you nearby to the Lord, it is not useful. And he talks about his own self. He says, I am so confused. One day I will think Karma Yoga is better. Somebody will come and tell me Jnana Yoga is better than Karma Yoga. Tomorrow I will say Jnana Yoga is better. Somebody will come and tell me Jnana Yoga is not good. Then I will think Karma Yoga is good. So I am so confused. One day I will think Sanskrit is very good, only Vedas are good, like that. Somebody will come and tell me, no, Tamil language is very good, Tirukkural is very good. The next day I will start talking about Tirukkural. I mean, somebody says Tirukkural is not good, but Vedas are good. So every one moment I am so confused. I do not know what is good for me. This is the confusion which he expressed. Why I wanted to give importance to this particular section is this is exactly what is happening in today's religious field and spiritual field. All the seekers who are seeking something or who are doing some practice are having the same confusion. I wanted to relate myself very much to this confusion when I was going through his notes. Actually, so many people are offering so many courses, and the funniest part, what I observed was everybody says that theirs is the best and theirs is the truth. So Swami Thayumanavar also says everybody wants to establish their part of truth is the ultimate. Even he said these things at the time when he lived. This is very much relevant today, and this is what is the most interesting aspect which every seeker should try to understand. And those who are walking in spiritual path are the people who are hearing my recording, and this kind of confusion is so natural that everybody will relate to his statement. Then he goes on talking about mind. This is another very interesting aspect which I found that all of us will enjoy hearing this. He says, the most difficult things can be achieved, but it is the mind which is more difficult than most of the difficult things, whatever you think in our lives. He says, an elephant can be controlled, a snake can be controlled, a lion can be brought to shape in the sense if it troubles, even a tiger can be handled. Even Ashtama Siddhis also one can get, but something beyond Ashtama Siddhis also one can get. People, whatever they think that it is so difficult, they can achieve. He says, mind is something which is the most difficult to conquer or to control or to bring under one kind of shape. What I am trying to say is to make it stable. This is exactly what he has expressed in some of his poems. I totally went with the flow of his poems or his songs when people were giving explanation to his expressions. All his songs are in Tamil language, but the meaning of whatever he has told, it meant a lot to me, because as I am recording, my mouth is recording, but my mind is somewhere else. And those who are hearing also, they will start switching on the button, but as they are hearing, only a part will enter our ears. That is how our mind works. It is never in a place for more than a few seconds. We sit in the classrooms or we observe through the window, we go with the tree, and on the tree something is sitting, we concentrate on that. It takes a lot of effort for us to bring our mind to focus, whatever may be our activity. It is not just about spirituality, it's about every aspect of our life. That's why I related so much with this version when he talked about mind. Then coming to his personal life once again, he lost his father and he started working in the same area where his father was working. After that, the king died, and the queen had to depend on him to run the affairs of that particular area, and he assisted her a lot, but his mind was never in the worldly affairs. He always wanted to seek that knowledge which will take him closer to God. In his eyes, only he and the Lord, only two of them existed. So he did not show much interest in worldly affairs. He just wanted to leave everything and go. Actually, compared to today's situation, I used to feel how different the today's situation is, that people don't want to leave power, position, and all that. But when I heard Thayumanavar's songs and his poems, though it was offered to him, he never wanted to stay. He wanted to leave. So a situation came, he lost interest and he moved out from that post also. Finally, he takes Samadhi near Ramanathapuram. But before ending this recording, I have a few more very interesting points to narrate. Is ultimately what he wanted to tell humanity is the most important thing with which I am going to end. He says there are two things which his guru taught him. Is one thing is, in Tamil it is told, but it is very difficult for me to give English translation for this. It says summa iru. This word summa iru, or the sentence or word whatever it is, I am not able to even give the dimensions of the meaning it conveys. In fact, Swami Ramana, Mahan Ramana, and many people have advocated silence. That is, summa iru means people literally translate it as not talking. Silence is just not, it is not talking. That is, when we say silence means, we observe silence means we don't talk. It's not just silence of the mouth, it is also the silence inside us, the thoughtless state, or a state where thoughts are not disturbing us, that kind of a peaceful mind. That is what he is talking so much in some of his poems. I am able to give very little of whatever he has talked only, but they are the most vibrant concepts which I thought should be brought to our viewers. The next thing what he says, which is very contrary to many people who had talked about learning so many things and hearing so many things and accumulating knowledge. If you observe the spiritual world, so many people have mastered so many things. In fact, everybody will be ashamed when they meet people, because they have taken mastery on so many religious texts. They can tell Puranas by heart. They can tell itihasas without seeing any text. Lot of knowledge people are having. But Swami Taiman or Swami says, emptying yourself is very important. So these two concepts, summa iru and emptying yourself, actually one should ponder over. And he says they are the ultimate concepts which will take us closer to our goal, for what we have taken birth. With that, he finishes his he finishes his sayings. Actually, there are quite a few areas where he has given lot of concepts also. In fact, his songs more or less resemble Upanishads, and one can say that he's talking about Tamil Upanishad. He can say that his speeches were Tamil Upanishad. That way also people have interpreted. But in the end, these are the two concepts which ultimately will be very useful to humanity. And then he left the world and he took Samadhi near Ramanathapuram, and his guru was his guide, and his guru followed Tirumular's tradition. So his songs will reflect Tirumular's name also. And he has brought out quite a few Tamil songs. And I request my readers, if they find time, they can take interest. And then it is his narration about mind and his narration about spiritual confusion. I admire them a lot, and it gives me so much of pleasure to share his reflections. And then with this, I am ending the recording. And for more information, I request you kindly to go through some of the YouTube videos who have talked. Some of the videos have talked elaborately on many of his teachings. Due to time constraint, I am ending here. Once again, I thank my listeners for taking out their precious time when so many attractions are waiting in outside world. They are spending 5-10 minutes and they are getting some kind of information through my recordings. Once again, thanking you all. I'll be back with some more recordings.